Welcome to this Spikes presentation. Today we will talk about case management. What is case management? Basically, a case is a collection of related documents that need to be processed, either individually or as a whole. And to process the set of documents, several actors will have to perform a number of tasks. This is the most generic form of the definition, and with it we can identify many examples that exist in the everyday life of a professional organization. For example, handling complaints. It isn't difficult to imagine that the process of handling a complaint involves several people. During the process, different information will be exchanged between each party. However, it is very likely that each party will have to have access to all the case-related information to be able to perform its actions correctly. As you can see, there are several other examples here that might be considered as cases. For example, contracts, sales files, personnel files, selection files, and so on. Because cases involve very different types of information, documents, emails, and so on, case management might become a challenge. Therefore, it might be interesting to think about the advantages of electronic or digital case management. Aside from the obvious fact that you can majorly cut down on physical storage space, it will also provide you with search features. You can coordinate actions of employees through workflows and task management. Outlook integration is a possibility, and integration with several external systems like back office and ERP systems that will provide you with external data like client data or project data. Electronic case management also provides possibility for templating and monitoring capabilities. Before we begin the demo, let us quickly give an overview of the demo case. In this demo, we will look at the case management of leasing files. The company, Spikes Lease Belgium, leases different types of products to its customers. This case management demo uses our SpikesTogether workflows component to provide an easy solution for managing the entire process of a leasing case, from beginning till end. In the first part of this demo, I will take up the role of front office clerk. I have just received a new email from a client, John Doe, who works at DERA, with a request for new ICT equipment. The first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to look in the system if one of my colleagues has already created a dossier for this request. As you can see, there are many different ways that I can search in the system, but today I'm going to just work with the name of the client, DERA. In the search results, we find one dossier that's opened for a welding robot, but this is about ICT equipment, so it's not the dossier we're looking for. In this case, this means we have to make a new dossier for DERA, which we are going to do now. One of the important features is the link towards external systems. For example, here I can fill in the VHD number of the client, and automatically the system will look up the information about the customer for me and fill it in the form. I'm gonna change the name of the case a little bit so that it stands out. And there our new case has been created. What do we see in a case file? We can see customer information, the dossier number, and there are different views that are provided to us that provide dossier documents, client documents, and again links to external systems, for example a well archive or XRM. The second thing I want to do is add the information that the client has provided me with. This I can easily do by saving the email in the dossier. If we do a quick refresh here, you will see that the email has been added. By adding the client information to the dossier, I have also triggered the start of the workflow. Because there is no more information to add, I can immediately complete the task complete new lease dossier for DERA. To complete this task, we have to select an outcome. The outcome is directly linked to our SpikesTogether workflow component, in which the different outcomes for each task are defined. For each task, it is possible to create several outcomes, and for each outcome, it is possible to create new tasks. So depending on the outcome that I choose here, the system will know which new task to create. In this case, we only have one outcome, which is new dossier completed, which I will select now. As you can see, the system will indicate that I have selected an outcome, and when I save the task is completed by the system. As you can see here, the state of the workflow has changed and a new task has been added. This concludes the first part of our demo. In the second part of this demo, I take on the role of front office manager. It is my task to look at all the new leasing files and assign them to one of my employees. To do this, I use the dashboard you see here. I have access to several types of information. I can see the latest dossiers, new documents that have been uploaded, and I also have a list of tasks that are assigned to me and tasks that are assigned to my apartment. If I ever want more information on tasks, I can click here and select one of the views that has been made available to me. In this case, obviously, I want to assign the new dossier for DERA to a front office clerk. I can check in my department tasks and I can see that the people here are already well loaded with tasks, so I will assign the new task to somebody else. In this case, I will add the information on the task and select an outcome. Assign to FO. Now that I have assigned the task to Nadine, I will also add a note to the DERA dossier. The concept of notes here can basically be compared to post-its on a real file. In this case, I will tell Nadine that the new rules for ICT equipment apply to this case. Now, when Nadine starts working on the file, she will see this information and she can take it into account. As you can see, by completing the previous task, again the workflow has been changed to a new state. And the last thing I want to show you is the overview of the workflow. This view will be available for each workflow that you start in the system, and it will give you an overview of all the tasks and their current state. For example, here we can see that we have 2 tasks that have been completed and another task that yet has to start. Another thing that's very interesting is the process viewer. It is possible to visualize the workflow entirely. For example, here we see the 3 steps that have been taken in the workflow for the DERA dossier. We see that they have been completed and this one is still in progress. Also, the little cones here you see in green show the SLA state of the task. With SpikesTogether workflows, it is possible to create an SLA for each task. This means that when the SLA is nearing its end, the cone will become orange, and when the SLA is broken, it will become red. In this case, we have done a good job because all the SLAs so far are in green. What I didn't mention before is that not only is the view that you see here the current status of the workflow, but it is also based on the drawing you have made in Visio. And it is in Visio that you will create all your workflows for the SpikesTogether workflow component. This concludes the second part of the demo. In the final part of this demo, let's take a look at the BI possibilities. All the workflows you create, all the tasks you define, and all the SLAs you define on each task can be monitored. To show you, I will show you a report. What you see here could be a result of BI monitoring. And this shows you, for example, the amount of processes that have been started over time and the amount of processes that have been completed over time. Also very nice to know the amount of tasks that have been completed within SLA and outside SLA. So this gives you a very powerful monitoring tool for your processes. In conclusion, what have we shown you today? We have shown you a demo case based on our SpikesTogether workflow component and its many features. Features such as visual process design, which allows you to manually configure your workflows on the fly with a one-click publishing system. No more development required. Role resolvement. You can easily see the roles that play a part in a workflow and which tasks they have to perform. Task pooling. For each action in the workflow, tasks are created and assigned to the right people. Task delegation is also possible, as is assigning tasks to an application. Rule-based. Our workflows are strongly rule-based, which allow for a maximum customization and create maximum flexibility. SLA definitions define service level agreements on each task. And mail templates. Our workflows allow you to create mail templates in which you can use the metadata from the process. SpikesTogether workflows are only one element of our SpikesTogether product suite. Three other components that might be of interest to you are structured document sets, which allow you to configure a tree-like structure of document sets. We have the dynamic forms component, which allow you to customize the standard SharePoint forms by configuring which data should be visible and/or editable depending on certain conditions. Conditions that can be based on the metadata contained by the form. Last but not least, the context-aware alerts. This component extends the capabilities of standard SharePoint alerts by again making it possible to use metadata in the notification conditions. In case you have any questions or you would like more information about any of our services or products, don't hesitate to contact us through one of the available channels shown on the slide here. And don't forget to visit our website www.spiketogether.be for more information about our products. Thank you for watching.